TenX raised one of the largest ICOs of all time in 2017, netting a whopping $80 million in its pay token initial coin offerings.
We knew we were going to sell out quite fast. We didn't know we would sell out in 7 minutes. The thoughts during those 7 minutes was stress. It was making sure, is everything going to hold? Is the smart contract going to hold? And then that's when suddenly the relief set in, and we'd actually ordered pizza for everyone, and then we had a small glass of champagne, and yeah, that was it.
Based in Singapore, TenX was a rare blockchain company with a usable product. Its debit card allowed users to use cryptocurrencies anywhere that accepted Visa.
And since then, we've been on a very aggressive recruiting and hiring spree. We're now a bit over 60 people. So for 2018, the plan is to go right now from 60 to around 200. Obviously, that puts a lot of stress on an organization. You need to have a very solid foundation, so already when people come in. The title that I actually would love to give myself is head of culture. There hasn't been one person that we hired where I didn't have a cultural interview with that person. Understand what do they value, what do they appreciate, and I think that's already how you start. Who do you let in?
But it has not been smooth sailing for TenX. 6 months from its successful ICO, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission issued a statement signaling incoming measures to clamp down on digital tokens. TenX's pay token initially promised dividend payouts, but after the SEC's announcement, TenX quickly announced a restructuring of its token to avoid it being deemed illegal by regulators. The news of the pay token no longer providing dividends was greeted with ire by segments of TenX's initial investors. The feeling was then replaced by impatience and confusion, as confirmed details of the new token had not been released since TenX's announcement December last year.
So when we did our ICO a year ago, most countries haven't initiated any opinion on tokens. So then over the last 9 months, the landscape has changed dramatically. And as a company, whenever things change, you have two options. Either you don't change and you get wiped out, or you adapt to the new environment. And for us, this meant that we had to restructure our token. I'm not sure if we should have done anything different, to be honest, because it's still not 100% sure what the SEC is going to do, or what is going to be called illegal and what's going to be called legal. Of course, you can always go a very safe route, but the question is this actually what we want to do in this ecosystem? I think this ecosystem is there to innovate, to push the boundaries, to test out new things. So now our token is used as almost like a key in the wallet, so that you can order cards with it, you can pay transaction fees with it, and you get incentives, and you get discount of using it in the wallet. We just received the legal opinion from the US. We have sent this to all the exchanges where we're listed to make sure that they are okay with this, that this is exactly what they would love to see. And once we hear back from the exchanges, we're going to make this public.
A few months later, TenX was dealt another blow. Wavecrest, its debit card issuer, had all its cards suspended by Visa for unspecified non-compliance issues, effectively rendering 200,000 issued TenX cards unusable.
The initial reaction, like, what are we going to do now? And I wanted everyone to focus on, hey, look, this is going to be a wake-up call for us to make sure we build stronger partnerships, we diversify our portfolio a lot better. We should have been doing 9 months ago, 6 months ago, right? And we didn't. Why? Because we were overwhelmed with demands from our users, and we said, we just need to ride this horse right now, and we thought this horse is going to ride forever, forgetting that horses can die. And this is what basically happened there. So far, Visa has been not against cryptocurrencies, but I think what Visa just wants to have the charge of certain things. Who's taking the risk for compliance? Who's taking the reputational risk, right? And I think this is something that this Wavecrest issue kind of escalated. These risks have not been clearly defined. We have installed, for example, things where we track the source of funding to be sure that can say, hey, this money doesn't come from illegal purposes, it's not been laundered, extra auditing of all our processes to be clear that we're actually as secure as it gets. These are all things that we have had to do now in the past couple of months. If you compare this to traditional fiat companies, some of these companies take 1-2 years to do all this, right? And yeah, many times building a foundation doesn't look exciting from the outside.
TenX has applied for a banking license to end its reliance on card issuers.
So we're applying to it in Europe right now, or it's still in the application process. We can then go to Visa, to MasterCard, and apply to start issuing cards ourselves, and that's going to be fantastic.
Dr. Julian is hands-on with TenX's community engagement. He has to manage fires within the community, more so recently with TenX's back-to-back issues of card cancellations and token restructuring.
Of course, in the last 6 months, our community has been shrinking and compressing, but the people that we lost are actually those people that are the fast, quick traders, right? They want the quick gains. Most banks, or let's say traditional players, they don't even see this big game at the end. They're just focused on this next step. And we might not be the total winners on this first small step, but that's okay for us. It's actually our mission statement. Our mission statement is to connect anything and anyone to decentralized services. And it has nothing to do per se with finances. It's decentralized services. I want to have a community that is with us long term and goes with us through thick and thin. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It might, but it's probably not. It's going to happen over the next weeks, months, and years. That in 10, 20 years, we can look back to such an interview or such a talk and smile and say, look, this is why we did this. This is what we stood for.